What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Legion of Raw. I'm here with the man himself, former WWE head writer. He is Vince Russo. Vince, how are you, my brother? Very nice. He's got that.
What's going on, Dr. Chris? What is
He's got
going on, Doc?
pythons, the old school brother pythons, man. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, man. What's going on, Vince? How are you, man?
I'm doing good, Dr. Chris. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Another day in paradise, man. So before we get into the SummerSlam stuff, take us back to 27 years ago, Highway to Hell, 1998, the penultimate show, the Raw before the Go Home Raw. Where was your head at leading into the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, man?
Bro, I remember I got into a big fight with Vince McMahon in his car, a yelling match almost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'll tell you why, bro, because Taker and Steve were such close friends. They wanted to have a babyface match at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the match was at the Garden in New York, and I knew the fans did not want to see a babyface match between these two. And, you know, talent like that and talent at that level, Vince is going to do what they want to do, and I don't blame them at all. Yeah. So they went out and have a babyface match, and it didn't get over, and they couldn't understand why. And that was the reason why, man. They did not want to see a babyface match between those two guys.
Because they were friends? That was
yeah.
Neither of them wanted to turn?
Yeah, man, they wanted to just kind of have a babyface match, you know, and I'm like, man, bro, it's not going to get over. You know, I knew that's not what the people wanted.
I can understand why Austin would want to turn, man. He was so red hot. I'm sure his merch was through the roof, and just he was still at relatively his infancy of the Austin era, you know, the babyface Austin era. Yeah. It's the babyface Austin era really launched the double turn, just less than a year and a half before. So it makes sense of why Austin would want to turn. Taker was well established at that time, you know, to make the turn. I guess. In his mind, too, was like, what's the payoff of just making a short turn and then possibly going back, because Taker was red hot, too. What was the rhyme or reason or why was it Taker versus Austin for 98? What was the goal? What was the kind of the backdrop or the big picture for that match?
Chris, I really wish I could remember the specifics, man, but it was so freaking long ago, man. The only thing that stands out is like that is that may have been the one and only time Vince and I had a real disagreement, you know, on something. But, you know, the thing is, like I said, man, I understood where he was coming from. I mean, I totally get it. When you got talent like that, bro, you got to keep the talent happy.
Yeah.
But I just knew, man, maybe somewhere else, but not in New York. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
But it was cool, man. The theme song, I remember playing that on all the shows, you know, paying AC/DC for the rights. I mean, that whole thing was pretty cool.
That's cool. Who comes up with the idea of the theme songs for pay-per-views?
That's a great question. I would probably say it gets tossed around at TV.
Okay.
And then once tossed around at TV, they probably come up with a couple ideas and send them over to Vince. And then Vince probably bounces it off Bruce, you know, stuff like that. I never got involved in. That just wasn't my thing, you know?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I always wondered, like, when it comes to these soundtracks of the big theme songs of the year, like who comes up with that idea? Why choose Cardi B, you know, for this year's SummerSlam, or why choose Travis Scott for WrestleMania? I can see why the Travis Scott thing, because with his partnership with Jordan and his, you know, pretty popular rap career, I can understand. But like, who's listening to Travis Scott in their car and it's like, oh yeah, I think this will work for WrestleMania. It just makes me wonder who comes.
Bro, I just think, you know, when it comes to today, you know, that, you know, Ari Emanuel is so tied into so many celebrities, bro. It's like a list of who's who.
Yeah.
he has access to absolutely everybody and anybody he wants, you know?
Yeah, makes me think about like when Easy Lover was the theme song for Saturday Night's Main Event back in the day, man. It's like
Who was that again? Phil
Collins.
Phil Collins and who though? Philip, the other guy
Michael Thomas.
No, Philip.
No,
Philip something.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Don't you forget?
You gotta look it up. Philip something and Phil Collins.
Phil Bailey.
Yes,
Phil
yeah.
Bailey.
Is that it? Phil Bailey? Yeah.
Yeah. Philip Bailey. Yeah. It makes me wonder if like Vince McMahon's listening to Easy Lover in his car back in like 1985, 86. It's just, she's an easy lover. Hilarious. Yeah, man. So let's get back into 2025, man. We had some nostalgia there. Let's get into this penultimate SummerSlam. Give us some panoramic thoughts, some 10,000-foot thoughts of the Raw before the go home. Did this help build the momentum for the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, in your opinion, Vince?
Chris, you're asking the wrong guy. I don't think there's any momentum at all. Any time. I think they're just going from show to show to show. Chris, I got to tell you something, man, and I'm just being totally honest. And if people want to hate on me, knock yourself out, because I could care less. This happens every time I go to a concert. You know, I went to a concert last night here in Denver. I saw an artist by the name of Hoser. Okay. And you know, the guy's about 35. He's like Irish American. Unbelievable band, unbelievable show. And Chris, every time I go to a concert like that, I am always blown away by how good the artists are. You know, they're just so good and so talented, and everybody in the band plays every instrument. Nobody misses a beat. And I'm blown away by just the level of professionalism. That's my problem when I watch this show. I honestly feel like, Chris, and I could care how much hate I garner, I could care less. I honestly feel like on this show, they are lucky if 20%, 25% of the roster are pros. This is a roster full of people that had hopes and dreams and wishes of becoming professional wrestlers, and somehow, some way, they found themselves on Monday Night Raw. And I watched this show from top to bottom, especially coming off of a professional musician, and I'm just like, these are not pros. They can't cut freaking promos. Chris, I swear to God, I was watching SmackDown the other day, and they had the 8-man car crash, and they do the deal where everybody's jumping, you know, the bowling pin gimmick. So you finally get to the deal where all 8 guys are down on the outside of the ring. And you're literally watching them talking to each other of those are not pros, bro. You are not a pro. And that's why I get so upset watching these shows, because I feel like such an idiot, and I am being so insulted. And this is supposed to be the greatest wrestling company in the world with the greatest talent in the world. And man, if this is the greatest wrestling talent in the world, bro, maybe Meltzer's right. Maybe Japan is the place for professional wrestling, because I watch this show week in and week out, and man, bro, like I don't know. And then I swear to God, my big takeaway from this show was everybody is talking about what is that new show called? Unreal. and they show a clip from Unreal, could that have been any more worked? I mean, seriously, like that's going to be the show. You're going to work scenes and then expect us to believe that these scenes are organic?
Yeah. That's what I got from that too. Like,
oh my God, that could not have been any more freaking work. This is what I mean about I'm so tired of being insulted by this company. Like I am a moron, and no matter what you put on there, I'm going to eat up and I'm going to applaud and I'm going to tell you how great you are. If that was supposed to be a shoot, really?
Yeah, I guess what I got from that too. When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, now I see what this is going to be about. Like it wasn't it's not going to be really a fourth wall type of in there. Which I will say this. I'm glad that it's not though. You know, I'm glad that it's not the breaking the fourth wall type of thing. We don't know what it's going to be, but based on that trailer, it does not seem like we're going to figure out like the ins and outs and stuff like that, which is fine. But it is like it did create, like in the very beginning, the impression that it was going to be that. So you work this again by doing a worked trailer as far as iShow speed. That's what Unreal is basically going to be like. And so it's like, do you get us psychologically? Do you get us excited enough to just throw in that, you know, a week? I think it begins at the end of the week. So, you know, it's like we're interested and we're curious to see, like, yeah, I don't really want to see this, but I am interested to see how they're going to do it. But then the week of, you know, the release, it's like, oh yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. We're gonna show you worked moments too. So
Chris, I said this at the beginning. They're going to expose themselves without even knowing they're exposing themselves. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, we shall see where that's going to be. That's Netflix at the end of the week, so we'll see. Let's start with CM Punk cutting an in-ring promo interrupted by Gunther. Gunther, I will say this, man. Gunther looked stronger than he has been for a while with this promo. I think he needed this because I'm so tired of the chicken crap heel type of stuff. Gunther's not that type of heel, and I'm tired of just the bowing out and being one-upped. And so the fact that he did that, I was actually happy that he did that. One thing I did take from this too, Vince, and I'm interested in your take on this, is Punk pandering to the crowd again, man.
Oh, I hate it, bro. And Roman did the same thing at the end. I'm so sick of these guys doing that. That's my note here. Punk more pandering. Those are my first three words of this review. Punk more pandering. And then Gunther just completely punked Punk out. And bro, here's what I'm thinking. Gunther didn't get any heat on Punk because he's going to go over at the pay-per-view.
Exactly.
So instead of getting heat on him, we're just totally going to punk him out, and he's going to walk out, and Punk's going to have his hand on his Wiener Schnitzel. That's how we're going to end this, bro.
Yeah, he outpunked Punk for sure.
Yeah, for
sure. It does make me wonder with the go home next week, though. This is like the momentum that Gunther's having, and then Gunther's, and then we'll see next week, next Raw, because if CM Punk gets like a go to sleep on Gunther and gets his balls back basically next week. I think that Gunther's going to go over at SummerSlam if Punk gets one up. Punk gets one up next week. What do you, in your opinion, Vince, thinking from a writer's perspective, what would be the point? What would be the advantage of giving the belt to Punk at SummerSlam?
Chris, listen, man, again, being a writer and watching all these shows, it's so hard for me to forget the Gunther losses. Those losses should have never happened. They were meaningless and they should have never happened. And, they want us to believe in him as a champion. They give him a win over Goldberg. I don't think a belt on CM Punk does anything, bro. They, again, man, they're marks for Punk. They're going to sing along with Punk, whether he has a belt or not. They got to start elevating other people in this company, bro. Everybody is in like the 42, 43-year-old and plus club, and we got to start handing this thing over, man.
Yeah. I don't really see, I mean, other than popping the marks, which, that's their agenda nowadays. I don't see the benefit either, man. I mean, I guess if there was a greater story and CM Punk was overcoming odds, that's the traditional babyface winning at the big pay-per-view, overcoming the odds, winning, the payoff being the babyface winning. That's storyline 101. But even CM Punk admitted that he only had 2 weeks to prep for this. So how would that make Gunther look as a heel that he's losing to someone who only had 2 weeks to prep for him? That wouldn't make Gunther look strong at all. And
even Punk was saying, I'm not saying I'm going to win, right, but I'm going to leave it. Like, what is that? Yeah. So we don't care if you win or not, as long as you leave it all in the ring. We're going to be happy. Like, you're supposed to leave it all in the ring, bro. You're supposed to be a professional wrestler. Yep. For him to say, I don't know if I'm going to win, tells me he's not going to win.
And you already know what's going to happen if Gunther wins. This is how the fans work, Vince. Gunther wins. CM Punk lays it all on the line. Gunther celebrates and walks out. CM Punk does the battered and bruised, hurt gimmick where he stands up, looks around the crowd, and everybody starts clapping for him when he gets up. That's basically the laying it out on the line, and the fans will just eat that up, man. And play
absolutely, to it. Absolutely, man, 1000%.
We get a backstage interview with Stephanie McCare, interrupted by Naomi. I don't have anything on that.
This is what I'm talking about again, about non-pros. Dude, why are you giving Stephanie McCare? Why are you giving her a microphone? Why are you? She's awful, bro. She's absolutely awful. So you need to either pre-tape this during the day about 20 times until it gets better and better and better, or don't freaking air it. Talent should not look this bad on the show. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say these are not pros. If you want to say Stephanie McCare is a great freaking worker and great wrestler, go ahead. I literally could care less about her work. Everybody's a great freaking wrestler. What I care about is, can I believe in her? Is she connecting with me? That was one of the worst backstage promos. Her and the other one, man, the two twins who sound the same, Velcor and Velor and Valkyrie and Valku, they're awful, bro. They are awful. And when I talk about these are not pros, that is exactly what I'm talking about.
It makes me wonder, Vince, if they're even challenged or given like an incentive or nudged to even work on their promos. Now, granted, kudos to Stephanie McCare for learning English. She's Chilean, I believe, and that's good. But I will say this: when I see stuff like that, it makes me wonder, do they even care about nudging and challenging these wrestlers for promos? Because it doesn't seem as if fans nowadays even care, though. Like those backstage promos, we see them ad nauseum every single week. We need to start taking, I don't drink, what is it? The sparkling cider shots, every time we have backstage segments at all now. And we'll even be drunk on non-alcoholic cider. I think when these backstage promos, the fans see them, they're probably not even really paying attention. I was there. I've been there doing media for years. Doing those segments, we'll pay attention to it, but bathroom breaks, we'll just talk amongst ourselves. And so fans aren't really paying attention to those backstage segments as much as if someone's in the ring. But it does make me wonder, like, because the fans are so enamored with Stephanie Vaquer as far as looks and in-ring ability, it makes it seem like she's not really nudged or challenged to work on her mic skills because people love her so much, which is really unfortunate, man.
I don't think anybody is forced to work on their mic skills, bro. I really don't. And bro, let's face it. Why are they doing these scenes in the back? Because here was another note I had on this show, bro. Everybody's making their own matches now.
Yes.
They're all making that's the only reason we're seeing these things in the back. They're literally making their own matches. I got a couple of notes here where later on in the show, on 2 occasions, the talent made their matches. The talent laid out the stipulation. That's the only reason they're doing backstage promos. They set up this Vaquer gimmick because her and Io Sky, in an even worse promo, in an even worse one, set up a match for tonight. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, bro, so talent's just making matches for the show.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you're back there and someone, especially someone like a Dusty Rhodes, I would imagine Dusty Rhodes seeing money in Stephanie because of her look and her skill. She does have an aura about her that's interesting, but I definitely think that he would be coaching her as far as giving us more emotion when it comes to those promos. Because she's just like, yeah, and I'm going to beat you. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, baby. You got to give me more, baby. You know what I mean? And so I can definitely see Dusty doing something like that. Yeah. We have Sheamus defeating Rusev in the longest match in Raw history, seemingly.
So this is what, like 1-1 now?
Yes, we'll have a rubber match.
We'll have a rubber match because here's 2 guys we don't have a clue what to do with, so just set them out there to beat the crap out of each other.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. We have backstage interview of Grana Americano interrupted by Dragon Lee, and they brawl backstage.
Yeah.
We have Bayley and Lyra Valkyria argue. And why is Lyra arguing with Bayley that she gets a title shot?
Bro, I'm so confused with the Bayley and Lyra and Becky. I'm so confused by the whole thing, bro. I really, really am. I'm trying to follow it, but they're fighting and they're friends and they're teaming. I'm just so confused by the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know what the story is.
Yeah. LWO gets a #1 contender tag team championship match
somewhere down the line.
I was about to say that. Beating the New Day, the Creed brothers. So the gimmick is somewhere down the line. We don't know, but they're #1 contenders now for the tag team championships. Vince, what do you think?
Chris, I don't know what to say. Should we swift mode right now to put the show over mode?
I think we should say she's an easy lover.
I mean, if you want me to switch on a dime to start putting this show over, I will. This is the same show every single week, guys. It's the same show. It was the house show at the end, and oh my God, did they stall for time at the end?
Yeah,
dragging it, and then it cracks me up, bro, because 1 second Heyman's trying to recruit. Okay, he's trying to recruit Roman, and literally the next second, Bron Breakker is saying, "You don't get it.
Yes,
we don't want you here." No, Bron, did you listen to Paul a second ago? He was just trying to recruit him in your group, bro. Like it's unbelievable to me. Like I sit here as a writer watching this, and this is where I'm saying these are not freaking pros, bro. This is. Bro, it has never, I don't care if he's 80, 90, or 100. It is every week they show us more and more and more and more how badly they need Vince McMahon in charge. Because I'm telling you, bro, the people in charge do not have a clue to what they're doing. And these are not pros. These are people wanting to be wrestlers. That's what this is, bro. This, I swear to God, bro, this is the equivalent of me taking a stage in front of $15,000 people and giving a concert. I swear to God, that's where he is in love.
Yeah. Cue music.
That's the equivalent, bro. You guys buy a ticket. I'll sell out 15,000 seats and I'll do a whole freaking concert. That's the equivalent of this show. I swear to God it is.
Wow. Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, this 2-night thing is literally it's literally next weekend. Like, there's 2 weekends before SummerSlam. You're throwing matches together. You're building stuff only with a few weeks leading into SummerSlam. You have the women's championship match with Naomi just building a few weeks before. You've got the Cody winning.
Who is she facing in SummerSlam? Do you
Naomi?
know? Yeah.
It's a triple threat. Her, Rhea, and Io.
Okay.
Yeah, as of last week. So less than 2 weeks before that title match. You've got CM Punk and Gunther. You just found that out last week. Like, all this is right before SummerSlam, and it's supposed to be a 2-night event. And we've got a tag team title shot down the line, and you've got Sami Zayn and Cross seeming like they've, Cross is 2-0 against them. So why would they have another match? So that's over with. And so it's like, you're going to have probably these long matches, long entrances for SummerSlam, and it's going to be 2 nights, and it's going to be super long matches and super long entrances, man.
Bro, I swear to God, if I was writing this show, I would do the double turn at SummerSlam with Cody and Cena. And then let's start with Cody as a heel. And let's rebuild everything from there. That's what I would do. I would take it like as a totally clean slate. Cody is the number 1 heel, and then just reset everybody and everything. Chris, I'm a broken record. With all the shows and all the content they produce, they don't have time to do any of this. That's why, like you just said, everything is last minute. SummerSlam's next week. This is exactly why, bro, because every time they turn around, they have a new show that they got to write and produce.
Yeah. I've even heard it from someone backstage texting me all the stuff that's going on and how difficult it is to, be a part of all that and stuff like that. So, it's a lot, and it's a lot to even try to map out and try to give some time and extension to really make something and put some legs behind something. And it's really, really unfortunate, man, because it really doesn't give the talent to showcase, their acting ability, their ability to really improv and do that. It's just match. But give us time to build this storyline, man. Let me think about certain things and certain nuances that I can take into this show that the fans didn't see. How can I really think about this to expand and add a little twist and add a little nuance to this storyline? Like wrestlers don't even have that opportunity to do that, because we're just to the next match. You're not giving the character time to think about stuff. Like, oh, okay, this is a 6-month storyline. Okay, let me map out some things. Let me take some time to think about, okay, what about this twist? What about this turn? That's the fun part about this whole thing, to wrap the fans around that. But if it's just match, man, we don't have a chance to see that, man. It's really, really unfortunate. Yeah, and all the things I mentioned, Sami Zayn and Cross, but do you think that they'll have a match? I mean, Sami beat him in Saudi, right? So it's 1-2. Do you think somehow we'll get a rematch at SummerSlam?
Absolutely, no doubt.
Think a stipulation is going to be involved somehow?
Absolutely, yeah.
There's lots of stipulations going on with SummerSlam. We have Io Sky talking to Asuka and Carby, saying in the locker room, Stephanie Vaquera talks to Io Sky, and that led to their match for the night.
That's why I thought, but I just got horrible. This is atrocious. This is absolutely atrocious, and they make their own match for tonight. This is what I'm talking about, bro. These are pros, like serious, bro. Can you imagine? I'll give you just a totally different scenario. Can you imagine Rob Reiner, and I'm coming out with a new film, and I'm going to take auditions, and I'm going to have actresses read for parts. Okay. Imagine Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Stephanie Vacour coming in and reading for Rob Reiner. Imagine that. Just imagine that. Can you freaking imagine? Can you imagine these four auditioning for parts in a television show? This is a television show, guys. They're on a television show. Think about them auditioning for a part on another television show. How that would go.
That's a good analogy. I think the issue that we see with that is whatever the television production gives us, we'll cheer. You know what I mean?
You're right, Chris. You're right. They don't care. You are 1,000% right.
Yeah.
We're talking about a totally horrible, weak show. They don't care. Okay. They don't care. Nobody cares.
And as a producer and as a writer, why should I care? I mean, you know what I mean? Like if all it takes is to give you matches, why do I care about creating stories? You know what I mean?
I would care if I was a writer or a producer, bro. I would care to try to make these people better. That's what I would care about, to try to make them better.
I agree with that for sure. But if I don't need to, and I've got several shows to produce in 1 week's time, and I can't really sink my teeth into one show because I've got Raw and SmackDown and Saturday Night's Main Event and then the PLE, and then I'm going overseas somewhere. Then I got these spot shows like Speed and all. It's like all of these shows makes sense of why there's no, house shows anymore, because the house shows are on television now. You know what I mean? Because it's so many shows throughout the week. And so the problem I see with this is it doesn't give the talent an opportunity to really build their character, and the fans, like I always say, the inmates are running the asylum. You cheer, you do the dog bark for Bron, and then he says a few words, then you boo him again, and then he says another few words, then you bark again. Like this is the fan base that you're really hinging your matches and your booking on. You're hinging your booking on the 2025 Pavlovian crowd. Where's the man? We'll lock in this story, and the fans, or we're going to force the fans to get into this story, versus saying, okay, they're cheering for, okay, yeah, let's do, okay, they like that match, okay, this is awesome, okay, we'll run that back next Raw because they said this is awesome. Like that does not, and I'm only speaking psychology. That's what I bring to the table. Psychologically, that makes no logical sense whatsoever, that you're continuing to ebb and flow and hinge and fluctuate based on a crowd that is not locked in to anybody, any character, any story. Just give me match. That's my high for tonight. Match, pop. That's not the crowd that you should hinge your booking on. I
couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
We have Pierce talking to Dominic Mysterio. Dominic confronted by AJ Styles, who's mopping the floor. AJ runs in a New Day, mops away from the frame, and now a New Day approached by Grayson Waller, who says that he dropped Austin Theory and wants to be their caddy, I guess. He wants to be a caddy, man. That's his gimmick.
And I guess Austin Theory is hurt. And
that's what he said.
Bro, whatever. Them Becky and Velcro for the 19th time, and here's where they make their own match and rules and stipulations for the match.
True. Yeah. We get Roxanne and Raquel defeating Bayley and Lyra with Becky's interference.
Yeah.
I will say this. This is one thing I did notice that I want to put over. You know what, man? There's a lot of things to critique about these shows, and we do every week as far as just being disappointed because we know they can do better. I definitely want to put Raquel Rodriguez over. I love it when someone, because a lot of times, and we've seen stories about this in AEW and WWE, people they're so full of into themselves, and they don't pay attention to experts. They don't pay attention to veterans because they're so full of themselves that they know that they can do these moves and all that philosophy that becomes very difficult to teach someone. And just these unteachable wrestlers nowadays are just a headache. But I absolutely think that Raquel Rodriguez even said on a response to Kevin Nash, I applaud her, man, for hearing that, seeing that, and saying, okay, noted. You're right. You're the vet. You're the expert. I'm going to work big from now on. And you could tell. Last week she did it. This week she did it. She wasn't selling a bunch of moves and flopping. She played big. And I said, kudos to Raquel.
I agree, Chris, but isn't there a bigger issue when nobody there is giving her that advice?
No, that's true. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, she's got to watch Kevin's podcast to get that advice. Nobody there is giving her that advice.
Which is why I think, well, it goes into what I was saying as far as the emphasis being on the matches and the fan crowd. That's the emphasis, unfortunately. But that's the reason why I think they do need veterans back there, though. I think because if Kevin was back there, he would. I mean, you know Kevin Nash. I've met him. I've talked to Kevin before, but you know him. Kevin Nash is that type of guy who he would be backstage. He would give people, big man, and big women like a Bronson, like a Raquel. You need that type of agent to work with big man and big woman because it gives them that particular nuance psychologically that they need to hear, man. Yeah, when someone's agenting a match, they're just doing spots. They're saying, okay, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I want this. This is what's going to happen at the end. This is how we're going to go home, blah, blah, blah. But when you're agenting a big person match, no, okay, he's going to drop kick. You're going to swat it off. He's going to drop kick again, swat it off. He's going to try to work the leg. You're going to settle a little bit. He's going to go Irish whip, and then boom, everything's just squelched. You give him a big leg, it kills the momentum. And so that's the psychology of working through the match, the entire match, and then eventually he brings you down. That causes the fans to go up because you went down once after him working and poking and prodding throughout the match. That's the type of big man that you need to work those types of matches. Yep. And you don't have that. I mean, you do have a Chris Park there, Abyss, but from the matches that I heard he's agenting, he's not really agenting like big man or big woman matches. He's just a part of an agent pool, to agent different matches in the show. So I think there should be a Kevin Nash back there. We have Karrion Kross defeating Sami Zayn again. He got busted open the hard way, man. Looks like his nose took a toll. What's next for Kross, man?
Well, they're gonna have a match at SummerSlam.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, and Sammy will go over.
Oh,
and then Kross will be right back where he was.
Yeah, right back there, man.
Yep.
We got the backstage segment with Dominic Sneaky attacking AJ Styles backstage after being cleared. So AJ and Dominic at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You got anything on this?
Chris, I'm just going to ask a simple question on all these matches. Let's just take Dominic and AJ. Why do I care who wins?
Yeah.
Well, give me one reason why I care if AJ wins, or one reason if I care if Dom wins.
Yeah. What's interesting about that, man? It makes me think because I watched I looked at highlights of Slammiversary and received a statement from the president, and I put it on my Twitter. And I think the thing is, man, AJ looked so huge on TNA. And, you know, it was a big crowd, record-breaking U.S. crowd, you know, boom period for TNA. That's great. Great for them, man. It's fantastic. He looked like such a star on TNA. You go from cutting a promo, putting the youngest X Division champion over, to being a valet and mopping floors just 2 days later. It's like, man, you see the difference between how they are presenting AJ Styles and TNA versus their partner WWE. And to your point, why do I care about a AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio Intercontinental Championship?
Bro, the whole last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, what was this was the premise. AJ is keeping an eye on Dom until he gets cleared.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's nothing, bro. That's absolute. So now this week they had him in costume.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a valet. Oh, I'm a janitor because I'm keeping my eye on you till you get cleared. Bro, we know eventually he's going to get cleared.
Yes.
So exactly. What is the point of the 3 weeks of AJ doing? Like what is the point of all that silliness?
Yeah. Yeah. And they call that a story though, Vince. That's their storyline.
That is their storyline. Yeah. That is their storyline. Yeah.
We get Io Sky versus Stephanie Bakira. Big smudge. We got Chelsea Alba, Piper coming in interfering. Then Naomi, and then Rhea Ripley makes a save with the big pop.
Yeah.
We got the main Paul Heyman with Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed cutting an in-ring promo. Interrupted by Roman Reigns. They attack him, and then Jey Uso makes a save. What's your take on this here?
Are they having a tag match at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I called that last week. I said it was going to be Roman and Jey versus Bronson and Bron Breakker, which definitely seems like that's the case.
God, bro, the absolute simplicity of making every single one of these matches, man. The formula is like, oh my God, bro. They don't care, man. The audience doesn't care. They're singing, they're barking, they're doing all that stuff. And
yeah. Again, man, it doesn't need much. It just the fans are reacting to it, and that's all it matters, man. They're going to mark out for it. Like it's, you know, a good friend of mine gave me a screenshot. He actually sent me a video of Saturday. I think it was Saturday Night's Main Event, that the ticket prices went significantly low, closer to the event because it wasn't sold out.
Yeah,
I mean there were solid seats that went down as low as $60, and it just goes to show the fans have the key to to completely flipping this thing upside down. Mm-hmm. But because of FOMO, because of the scarcity effect in their minds, because of not wanting to miss out, because of wanting to be a part of the booking committee, basically, when it comes to these crowds, they're willing to pay four figures in top dollar just to chant Roman Reigns and sing along, you know, with theme songs. It's like, you really can make this a big thing. You really can change the trajectory of these ticket prices. And we saw that with Saturday Night's Main Event and Evolution. Do something about it. But guess what? If fans continue to pay top dollar and not do anything about it, it took them having to have a big cluster of events put together. They had SmackDown on Friday. They had Saturday Night's Main Event on Sunday and Evolution on Saturday, Saturday Night's Main Event, and Evolution on Sunday. They had to have, and then they had the NXT gimmick too that day too. So you had to have four events cluster in 1 week for fans to finally realize, okay, man, this might be a little bit too much. It takes that to show us that things can change, but guess what? They'll sell out this show with 4 figures and 15, 17. I'll post this on my Twitter. A ringside seat, not a front row, $17,000 for a ringside seat.
And meanwhile, here's the funny thing, man. I was looking at WrestleNomics. I think put this out today. Of all the study came out on Netflix from January till June, the first 6 months of the year, based on hours watched. Based on hours watched, WWE was number 30 on the network.
Wow,
30.
really?
And you're talking about shows that beat them as far as hours watched. Bro, you're talking about the Gilmore Girls, Young Sheldon, Lost, House. I mean, shows that are rerun and there haven't been new episodes in these shows in 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Number 30 on the list, the WWE was.
Wow. Yikes. You know why, Vince? Because WWE, like, what is the lifeblood of WWE nowadays is live crowds and YouTube highlights. Those are the two things that is really the lifeblood of WWE television right now. It's not clearly, as you see. I mean, we saw that from the decline, from January, 6th, I think it was, or whatever. I think it was January 6th. The first episode till now, 6.5 months later, the enormous amount that they dropped since the inception. And it's like, okay, like what's the reasoning behind that? Are you going to use cognitive dissonance and say, hey, it's the summertime? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do but again, Vince, if they're making money hand over fist, by selling big money tickets, having 2-day SummerSlams, having all these PLEs selling all these, having these record-breaking numbers that they're going to announce at the pressers, what do they care about?
And bro, did you hear this
$500,000 check that's already in the bag?
Chris, did you hear this latest one now? Now you can go see SummerSlam at selected movie theaters for $65. Now, what does Peacock have to say about that?
That's true.
Like, what?
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, they just had a partnership with Fandango. So
unbelievable, man. Yeah. Unreal, man. And Nick Khan gets a piece of every single one of these deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
I must be loaded.
Ari as well, man. All right, yeah. Awesome sauce, $5. We lost Theo. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's sad.
So sad, bro. Yeah. 54 years old, man. I saw the video of him saying, something about yourself that you have to love. If not, that gives you opportunity to love someone else. And his last video he posted before he died, it's just a freak accident, man. Just got caught in the high current when he was just hanging out in Costa Rica. So very sad. You never know, man. You never know when your last day is. Only 54 too, and just man. Cosby Show's my all-time favorite sitcom, man. So Theo was one of my favorite actors back in the day, and how everybody has their doppelganger, like the celebrity look-alike, and people would call me Theo because and then when he had the locks, and even more, people would call me Theo. That was my celebrity look-alike. So, it's sad to see, man, stuff like this, and it's like it's a sobering moment that yes, we can criticize wrestling, and it's so much of it is just Pavlovian dogs and matches, man. But when you get to the Malcolm Jamal stories of this world, it really tells you, man, you really can't afford but to just maximize every minute and make the most out of it instead of doing things like, hate posting on Twitter and spending so much time, just being just evil people. You know what I mean? It's like,
couldn't agree more, man.
way too much love to spread just to be just mean and evil. You know what I mean?
Couldn't agree more.
Sad to see, man. All right, we got Hannibal $5. That show felt longer than the game pitched by Steve.
Yeah, well, it went longer tonight, man. Hannibal, it did. I think it went like 240 tonight.
Yeah. Had some length to it this week. Yeah. Traffic Jam $2. Gunther's an old school heel. Say no more.
Yep, he's an old school heel that they've booked poorly.
Yes, absolutely. Deacon.
Do you think, and I swear to God, like, I'm just thinking, like, bro, if Superstar Billy Graham were wrestling on this roster, would they 50-50 Superstar Billy Graham?
No, of course not. No, he would be cutting a promo. He would probably be beating babyface enhancement talent to make himself look good and look stronger. And he would cut promos to make himself as a character look big.
Bro, have these people... You think they've ever seen a Superstar Billy Graham promo?
Oh, no. God, bro. No. Like maybe the Dark Side episode, but I mean, you know, call himself the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. You know, it's just the characters that were in. This is the reason why, like when I'm looking at this, man, I've been watching wrestling now for 40 years, and I look at 2025. And I'm like, man, where'd it go?
I know.
Where did it go, man? Like the characters, where did the character development go? Man, I couldn't care less about a match. I remember watching NWA back in the day, and you literally had the studio audience, which I think was just amazing. Yeah. You would have the camera pan out from the back and see a wrestler, especially someone like the Road Warriors back in the day. You would have Hawk and Animal come from the back, and you would have one camera pan from them coming to the back, going into the ring, mauling the enhancement talent, making them look stronger and just almost killing the enhancement talent. The fans reacting to it, bells ringing, and they go straight to the podium and cut a promo with Bob Caudle or Tony Schiavone and David, what's my guy's name? The brother of the owner,
Crockett.
Yeah, David Crockett. Yeah, so and that was the emphasis. It wasn't like the matches. It was okay. That's just a small part of who's the character. And you would have Animal cut a promo and say, "Tell him, Hawk." And then Hawk would say, well, you know what I mean? He would just cut some random story about being at the bar and fighting over somebody over a piece of steak. You know what I mean? Like that would be Hawk. And that was the emphasis. Same thing with the Horsemen. They would come in, you would have Arn Anderson do a gourd buster and go over to the podium and cut one of the best promos of the night. That's what wrestling meant to me, man.
Yeah. Yep.
And like if you were to translate 2025 into 1985, 1986, you would have basically an hour show be just filled with some random backstage segments and most of it, you know, in the ring. Yeah. We wouldn't have those studio moments. Because of the studio moment, the Four Horsemen was born.
Yep.
Because the Four Horsemen was born based on Arn Anderson cutting a promo saying that we're the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse because they were running out of time. They had to bunch the people, these four people together, and Arn Anderson cut saying that we're the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. If it wasn't for that podium promo, you wouldn't have the greatest faction of all time. That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about when it comes to wrestling, man. That's the heart and soul of pro wrestling, in my opinion. So that's what I'm comparing it to.
Amen.
We have Deacon Frost 599 when Rhea, Io, and Vaquer were just standing in the ring, staring at each other. I had chills, Vince. Here's your time to switch it over. Let's go. All right, Vince. Now it's time to flip the switch. Vince Russo.
When I got to tell you,
man.
When Rhea, Io, and Valkyr were just standing in the ring and they had that moment together. I'm not going to lie to you, Chris. I know this is a family show.
Yeah.
I felt movement in my shorts.
Yes. Yeah.
I
had a feeling.
I felt movement. Yeah. I felt movement. I got a little excited. And I was like, man, how many more days till SummerSlam? How am I going to sleep between now and then? How is that going to happen?
Seeing Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea and Io, it made me almost jizz my pants.
Yeah. Just say it, Chris. You know,
I just have to be honest. I just have to be honest, man. There's no need to hold it in. And I had a problem holding it in, so I might as well say it. So you had Traffic Jam, $2. Modern Wrestlers cutting promos is an all-time low.
It is. I don't know of a worse time of wrestlers cutting a promo. I don't. I really I don't know of a worse time.
Yep. You have Traffic Jam, $2. Cody Rhodes said he refused to be a heel. That's a work.
Yeah, he's got to turn heel. They got to do something, bro.
For sure. Absolutely. Instagram, $2. What do you do with a boring character like Io Sky, Vince? What do you think, man?
You don't let her talk. I mean, I could tell you that much. No. Bro, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. They love Io Sky because she's a great worker, and you're talking to somebody who could give a crap about great workers. So it's what can I say, man? Really.
True. We have Ethan Wilkie. Let's see, $9.99. John Cena is well past the beginning of his farewell tour, and he's almost at the end. Don't you love how we still have no explanation of why The Rock did all this?
Yeah, I think The Rock has separated himself for whatever reason from all of this. A lot of people think Rock's going to appear at SummerSlam. And I'm like, bro, if you have Rock appear without advertising and promoting it, you're idiots. If you got if you've got a Rock on your show and he's going to be there and you're not using that as a selling tool, you're an idiot.
Unless you're already sold out and you don't need any more selling tools. I mean,
selling tools always you still want people to buy Peacock. You're trying to drive people to the movie theaters now.
Yeah, fantastic.
Right, for $65, right?
Yeah. I think what they should do is, I don't think they should make it as huge. I'm okay with them because you know how socials goes everywhere now, man. If he just simply cut a promo like he did last year on his Instagram, that's all he needs. You know, he cut a promo, said that I'll be there on Saturday, to show the world that I'm the final boss and to, let Cody Rhodes know that he will not, beat John Cena. The Cody Rhodes mission is aborted. I've still got my belt. I still, I'm still very, very locked in on making sure that, Cody Rhodes' life is a living hell. Do that, because the only thing that's going to do is that's going to get us excited about what's going to happen. And boom, that's when you do the double turn. Cody aligns with The Rock, like I said last week or the week before. And then that's going to cause the suspense of what's next. If anything's going to cause us to want to watch SmackDown, the SmackDown after SummerSlam, it's going to be the double turn with Cody Rhodes, unless The Rock just goes away again and there's no explanation and Cody Rhodes cuts the promo.
That's the thing. I can't see Rock committing to something. Right. I could see him making an appearance. Yeah. I can't see him committing to a, like even 3 weeks. I can't even see him committing to.
Being a board in TKO, man, you got to do that, man. You got to have that type of commitment. Yeah. Wes Hill went to timeout, man.
Joey.
Joey, it's been a while. Joey.
Time out. Time out, Joey! Time out, Joey!
I love that. That's awesome.
Yes, indeed. We got Hayes, $5. Jericho's debut promo from '99 would be totally relevant in today's WWE.
I don't even remember the promo.
He interviewed. I mean, he cut off The Rock, and
I remember that. I just don't remember what he said.
It was like the countdown to Millennium, and
he didn't thank each and every one of you. And I'm here for you people. You people demanded me being here, and I'm here.
The Rock should have cut the promo saying that beforehand, before Jericho came out. So, just imagine The Rock pandering to the crowd, or Austin pandering to the crowd.
Oh, God. Can you imagine if Austin ever pandered to a crowd?
I did it for you, everybody. 1 beer, 2 beers.
Yeah.
It'd be horrible.
This bud's for you.
Yeah, exactly. Nestor, $5. Hey, what's up? Just sub to y'all. Y'all are great. I was watching TNA 2004. Saw Vince Russo looking like a better version of Paul Heyman. Good wrestling time. It's very nice. Very nice. Yes, indeed. There you go. Were your guns that big back in 04?
No, I've been working out, man. Come on.
Very nice. Very nice, man. Impressive. Vince Russo, let them know where to find you, my brother.
Guys, free week of the brand. Try me out. I put my money where my mouth is. You get a free week of the brand. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. Try us for a week. If you like us after that, you could sign up for only $3 a month. That's patreon.com/Russo TWC.
Yeah. Absolutely. Follow me at Chris Prolific. Subscribe to the Pancakes and Power Stamp show. I'm putting in some really cool work, some good work there, man. Breaking things down psychologically. Last week was a really fun show. Every week I do classes of some sort, and last week I did a really cool body language analysis from a psychological standpoint of Goldberg's interview of Ariel Helwani. And so now people are sending me clips and stuff of wanting to break things down, interviews down psychologically. And so DM me a clip on Twitter that's recent, like a recent interview that you want me to break down psychologically, and I'll do it on a future show. So let's have some fun over Pancakes and Power Sams. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. This guy right here is Vince Russo. I am Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.